upcoming Vit artists and young people. Mr. Kim Pham leaves behind a legacy that has been felt across the Pacific Northwest Vietnamese community. He was a leader, he was a father, he was a friend, and he will be missed by the community he spent his professional life to serve. In his honor, as the first Vietnamese refugee elected to serve in Washington state legislature, to sign this letter of recognition and appreciation of Mr. Kim Pham, I am humbled by his service. May his memory live on as a shining example for all of us to learn from. Unquote. Representative Mi Lin Tai. Letter of recognition and appreciation from Senator Joe Nguyen. Quote, the Office of State Senator Joe Nguyen hereby recognizes the incredible contributions to the Vietnamese American community in Washington state by Mr. Kim Pham. Mr. Kim Pham used his life to uplift the voices of our Vietnamese community and played an important role as chief editor of the Người Việt Tây Bắc newspaper here in Seattle. By bringing local and international news to our community, he unified and brought us together while telling our stories. On top of his many contributions at Người Việt Tây Bắc, Mr. Kim Pham was also a fervent advocate for the Vietnamese community, especially the youths who he took great pride in supporting. His work will continue to have an impact on Washington's Vietnamese community for years and generations to come. Mr. Kim Pham will always hold space as an important and monumental figure in Washington. It is my honor to write this letter of recognition and appreciation for this outstanding work in our communities. In solidarity, Senator Joe Nguyen. Unquote.
Thank you, City Council Member Kim Khan, and all the folks who went out to ask for support in recognizing the amazing work these folks did for our community. And I also appreciate all of our elected officials who recognized the contribution and took time to write these letters of recognition and proclamation. And so for the next, we have, for this event, we are recognizing 4 individuals who passed away in the last month, and it seems like they all passed away in March. And we actually have a lot of community members who passed away during this last year. But as Antam was saying, this is our first time. And as we were trying to gather information out in the community, who people wanted to support and want to highlight, these were the 4 individuals that came back to us. And we hope that in the future that we would have a longer term process of identifying contribution, big and small contribution, big contributions in quiet ways and in very overt ways, because I believe that all of us contribute to our community. But today we want to share the contribution of the 4 following community leaders. And so I would like to introduce to you Nguyen Pham, who is the Friends of Little Saigon Executive Director, who will be talking about Khoa Pham. Nguyen.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here and thank you for your patience. Quinn Pham, I'm the Executive Director for Friends of Little Saigon, and just here to say a couple words. And I believe his sister Ingvi and Baek Ning, Kwa's father, is also present, so they can speak a little bit after. But a little bit about Kwa. He was like a big brother to me, so thank you for allowing me to just talk a little bit about him. But Kwa was born April 1985. His birthday was just last week. Kwa is co-owner and CFO of Fabak Enterprise, was an entrepreneur, restaurateur, community advocate, philanthropist, and so much more. But most importantly, a lover of dogs. His dog Pinky. His generosity and ingenuity is known by all, from offering business advice to networking to assisting with manual labor. Kwa would do anything to help you. Kwa was as generous as his smile Kwa was as generous with his smiles as he was with his money. He was a big donor and contributor to the Friends of Little Saigon and the Chinatown International District Business Relief COVID Fund. We all have benefited from Kwa's commitment and contribution to the Little Saigon CID community. His Philbak family are committed to continuing Kwa's vision and legacy to grow and enhance the neighborhood for his community to be proud of and enjoy for generations. Kwa is survived by his parents and 4 sisters. So I'll give him a minute. Ying, are you here? I see you on the attendance list.
Or should we?
Okay.
Oh, there.
Hello. Oh,
Hi.
you're so funny.
Ying, and then you're welcome. Bác Ninh, nếu muốn nói vài lời, xin mời.
What was the
Oh,
question?
oh, no question. If you'd like to say anything.
Hello,
Chào
bác.
bác, chào bác.
Chào bác. Bố mẹ muốn nói cái gì về Khoa không?
Muốn nói đi.
Muốn nói đi.
Muốn nói hả?
À, hello. Nói cái gì về Khoa cũng được.
Bây giờ thì bác không biết là nói cái gì về Khoa nữa, nhưng mà thời gian mà Khoa ở với bác với gia đình á, thì nó là một đứa con rất là ngoan, hiếu thảo. Rồi khi mà graduate xong nữa thì nó vâng lời bác, là nó nhận cái trách nhiệm là nó run cái business cho gia đình. Thì bác cũng rất là hãnh diện khi mà cháu nó working together với gia đình nhá. Mà sau đó một thời gian thì là bác thả hoàn toàn cho Khoa run cái business rồi. Vì vậy mà bác thấy rằng cái công khó của Khoa nó làm cho cái business của bác càng ngày càng phát triển hơn trước kia. Vì vậy mà gia đình vẫn luôn nhớ, và cũng không biết là phải nói thế nào để cho mình vơi bớt những cái mất mát đó. Bác cũng cảm ơn tất cả anh em Little Sài Gòn đã cố gắng promote Khoa để cho nó có một cái thế đứng của cộng đồng, của xã hội. Thì bác rất là hãnh diện.
Come on back. I'm just going to summarize quickly a little bit what Bak said, Kwa's father said. Bak, when you said that Kwa was a very one, you were very proud that Kwa was an obedient child, which is a very rarity in for Vietnamese children. It's very hard for us to be children that our parents are proud of being obedient. So I really think that's a wonderful trait. Back saying how Kwa, because he was willing to take on the mantle of continuing the business and was able to really expand all the hard work that his parents started, and have taken the Phật restaurants and all the other businesses that they have to this next level. And Kwa to us is really an example of the second generation entrepreneurs. Really was an inspiration to us all. So thank you, Beth. So now I would like to introduce Kim Khánh to give a few words about Chu Bình Trân.
Yeah, thank you, Ji. Chu Bình Trân was born on November 1947 and passed on March 2021 this year. Chu Bình Trân lived an illustrious life during the Vietnam War. He was a helicopter pilot for the 217 Squadron in the 4th Air Force Division. He rose to the rank of captain and flew for the president of South Vietnam. Chu Bình Trân continued his leadership and mentorship and service to the Vietnamese community in Washington, such as the Vietnamese Air Force, Veteran Association of Washington, the Vietnamese American Community of Tacoma and Pierce County, the Vietnamese American Community of King County and vicinity, the Republic of Vietnam Foundation, and the Vietnamese West Community Council, of which he was president. Du Benchung is remembered as a kind, compassionate, hardworking, and charismatic leader. He is survived by his 5 children, brother, 2 sisters, niece, nephew, and 3 grandkids. And if I could say a few words in that, when I first met Ju Ben Chung, or I call him Ben, or Ben, in Vietnamese Ben, is that what I've learned from Du is really how to be a compassionate leader in his own ways, that he really taught young leaders like myself in bridging the gap and in understanding our community. And so, yeah, just wanted to make a few comments in that regards. And he'll be forever missed.
Thank you, Kim Kun. I think what you speaks to is felt by all of us. And I believe his family wasn't able to make it, so we will send this recording to them and let them know of how much we value and appreciate all his services. And then next, I would like to introduce Anh Hoàng Trần, who is the City of Federal Way City of Federal Way Council member, and he will present on the live of Bác sĩ Xuân Dũng.
Thank you, Tâm Linh. Hello, everybody. It is my honor to share with you some of the information about Dr. Nguyễn Xuân Dũng. Dr. Dũng was born on September 7, 1932 in Nha Trang, Khánh Hòa, Vietnam. He received his medical doctor degree in 1968 and joined the South Republic of Vietnam military in 1970. After the fall of Saigon in 1975, Dr. Dũng was sent to re-education camp or hard labor camp for 2 years. He and his family escaped from Vietnam by boat and spent 1 year in a refugee camp in the Philippines. Dr. Dũng and his family arrived in the US on December 1st, 1980. Dr. Dũng was respected and well-loved by his family and his friends, patients, and community members. He believed in lá cờ vàng ba sọc đỏ, the yellow flag with 3 red stripes. He used his medical skills and knowledge to help the needy. He would never turn anyone away and would often provide free of charge services. Dr. Dũng had a long history of public service and advocacy for Vietnamese community. As the president of the Vietnamese Tacoma Pierce County community from 2009 until 2018, he elevated the voices and the needs of the Vietnamese community. Dr. Dũng was honored by many elected officials and organizations, including the recipient of Key to Tacoma City. He's survived by his wife, Mrs. Phan Thúy Hằng, 3 children and 5 grandchildren. Thank you.
Thank you, Anh Hoàng. And as I was putting this slideshow together, I was looking for pictures of Dr. Xuân Dũng. And I would tell you every single picture, Dr. Dũng was in this always in a large group with people, young folks, older folks. He was with his patients. He was with elected officials. So it was actually really, really hard to find a picture of Dr. Dũng all by himself. And so it speaks to the breadth of his connection and of his how integrated he was in the Vietnamese community. So thank you, Dr. Dũng, for all that you do for us. And I wonder if there are any family members in the audience that would like to say something.
Kim.
And if not, we can also wait near the end. But then if not, then I will move on to our next individual that we want to honor is Ju Kim. Here we have his beloved daughter, Julie Pham, who is really the legacy of all his great work. And so Julie will, speak to us on to give us a little bit more background about her father. Julie?
Cho mẹ ly nước.
Thank you. I'm just getting, actually, as I'm listening to everyone, I'm getting a little choked up here. Instead of reading what's on the screen, I just want to share a few thoughts. My father passed away at the end of March, and so I remember him working very hard to make sure that Ben Chen, Baxi Zoom, and Hua Pham were honored. And he just felt that was really important. And he just had such a huge love for the newspaper. I have two younger brothers, and we always thought of the newspaper as the fourth child. He was constantly thinking about newspaper and how to serve the community. And the last time he stood was to work on the newspaper. And it was to write about the Tommy Lake case. And I'm so glad that he was able to see the Tommy Lake case come to justice, because he followed that for years. There are three things that I want to point out. He was very proud of being a refugee. He would tell me, oh, there are some Vietnamese who don't want to call themselves refugees. We have to be proud of being refugees. We should be proud of what we've done here, how much we've built here in this short time. He was always just so inspired by what young people were doing, what young Vietnamese Americans were doing. Sometimes, with Vietnamese parents, they might say about some other child's accomplishment, oh, look at how well they're doing. And it's a way to almost compare. And for him, it's just, oh, it's so great that they're doing that. And he would always ask me, hey, what are your friends? How can we promote your friends? What's going on in among young Vietnamese, and we can talk about them. And he really wanted to use the newspaper as a platform to do that. And the last thing was just civic engagement. He was inspired when Vietnamese Americans ran for office, and he felt that it was really important for us to have a voice politically. And so I feel honored that he's being honored today. And he just loved this community. So thank you.
Thank you, Julie. I'm sure I speak for everybody that Ju Kim was really a big advocate of all who love the Vietnamese community, like you said. And for a lot of the young folks, it's really hard to connect with people that we consider our aunties, our uncles, our goju back. And so with Ju Kim, he always reached out to you, and he always offer his support, which is, for a person who's so busy, it is also very rare, and a lot of giving of his time and service and skills and knowledge to help make sure that it is easy for us to do the work for the community. So yeah. I'm sure he was very proud of you as well, Julie. And thank you for being here to speak about your father. And I hope to work with you and other family members to see how we can continue, the legacy of all of our community leaders. So then I know that during this time, we have a lot of other community leaders who are present. And I also would like to give you a little bit of time to maybe speak. So if you're interested, if you can raise your hand, and then Gwen can identify and call on you. But right now I see Anjong is on, and if I can ask Anjong to speak a little bit of, give some words. Not yet, Gwen, if we can go back to the last slide for Anjong. And then so with the, because Anjong was also on the board of the Friends of Little Saigon, and also a leader in of all the amazing floats that we see in the Seafair floats. And so Anjong, can I call on you to say a few words? I think you have to unmute yourself, Anh Trọng. Anh Trọng, are you able to unmute yourself? Yes.
Yes. Okay. Sorry about that. Anyways, thank you for the opportunity here to share a few thoughts. First, I want to recognize the work that you all have done. I think this is the first time that we have this forum to recognize all the contributions of the Vietnamese community leader. So that's quite a big task, and I'm glad that it began to happen. So good luck with that, and I hope this will continue for the years to come. We have many leaders in the community, and one of the things is our community haven't done a good job recognize their contribution as a whole, mostly just their own organization. But we don't have the community recognition, recognize the contribution that you have done. So I pause for that effort, and good luck. I hope to see that continue in the year to come. I have the privilege to work with all these 4 individuals, and one thing that the common trait among them is that they love and support the newcomer. So for new organization, young people that they heard about, that come into contact with them, they pour out their heart to support them. And especially bác sĩ Dũng and anh Kim. So I remember when I first start the seafair float, before that, the chamber. So you know, in our community, in the beginning, there's a lot of division among the community member, especially for newcomer that trying to do and help support community. The community people always tested them, and so the test is in a very negative way that sometimes it just kill their momentum and spirit. But Dr. Dũng and Kim is always reach out, defending them and also helping them strategize and stay remain strong. And that's especially my experience with anh Kim as well. So sometimes we have a daily conversation when things are happening, and he said, you know, keep the community spirit, keep the unity, and you know, we at large we do the right things, people will recognize. So same thing with Khoa as well. Big heart, give it. I only know him in the last year, recently, that he began or start to work with Friend of Little Saigon. So so it's wonderful to see all this individual that reaching out and nurture and helping the new Vietnamese organization or newcomer that want to provide or help the community. So definitely we miss them. We're gonna miss them a lot. I remember anh Kim is always at every year when we have the parade, he will schedule his time to be there, take picture and talk to us. Bác sĩ Dũng one time was on the float, even though he was old. We have to make sure that he didn't fall off the float, and so he was walking with us on the float for like half a mile, and then he got tired, and we have to find him a way for him to leave or come down off the float. But that was a lot of memory with all this individual. So anyway, that's it. Just want to thank you for their contribution. It's great to have their support for the work that I'm doing in the community as well, and we'll miss them dearly. So thank you.
Thank you, Anh Trọng. You are also a tremendous community leader and mentor, and I appreciate, and we all appreciate your connection to all of our other leaders. And I'm sure you have a lot more stories to share with us as we start to document all of the wonderful things that our community leaders do in our community. So is there anyone else who would like to say something?
Something?
Yes, Anhua.
If I may?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. I just want to echo what Anh Trọng was saying about these four wonderful individuals. I had the honor to get to know and to work with all four of them. But today, if I may take just a moment to talk a little bit about Anh Kim Phạm, because he was more than a friend. He was like a brother to me. I met Anh Kim when I was attending school at the University of Washington, and although he's much older than me, and I want to call him Chu Kim, but then he said, no, don't do that. I want you to call me brother, Anh Kim, and I said, why? And he said, well, because it make me first feel younger, and I feel more connected with your generation, and that's how I ended up calling him, Anh instead of Chu. At the time, our organization, the Vietnamese Student Association at the University of Washington, we try to publish our quarterly magazine, and the purpose is to, promote and preserve our culture and language. But as a student, we did not have the means, financial means to do that work, and that's when Anh Kim came in. He came in and he let us use his office, his equipment, his material, so that we can, publish our magazine. And that's how I get to know this wonderful person. And then about 15 years ago, um, he asked me and he said, would you consider to run for public office? And I look at him, I just laugh and I said, are you kidding me? I don't know anything about politics. I can't do it. No. And he said, that's exactly why I want you to do it. And you will be a good one. And then, we just laugh at that. And, we go on with life and, career and all that. And then 10 years later, which was in 2016, he bring it up again. He said, Huang, I think you should seriously consider running. And I said, okay, but again, I have no idea what's politics look like, and I don't know anything about it. The next thing I know is he start organizing fundraising for me. He has the massive network of people, did multiple fundraising for me, and that's how I get elected. Without his help, without help from the community, I I can't do it. I won't make it. Um, but one thing about him is that he doesn't want to recognize. He 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 was the man behind the scene. I remember that I asked Anh Kim, can I just please even introduce you, just get up on the stage so that I can just say thank you. And he said, no, I don't want you to do that. I just want to be behind the scene. And that's how he was. And that's how I remember him. And he keep telling me that he want to thank me for lay the foundation for the next Vietnamese generation to get into politics. But you know, I don't think that's correct. I think he was the one. He was the one that actually laid the foundation for many of us Vietnamese American elected official. So for that, thank you and Kim and thank you Ji and Julie and Andy and Don for sharing this wonderful man with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Anh Hoàng. Anh Hoàng, you really speaks to the power of connection and support in our community, and how recognizing that we're all here because of the previous generations of people who support us and our ancestors, you know, who fought so hard and brought us here. And so I think that is really what is a blessing in the Vietnamese community, is that we continue and it doesn't stop. And then when we have made it, how do we bring up the next generation? And so I think it's very fitting then for me to ask Antam to come back on again to talk about how today's event is just a beginning, and that, you know, an hour is not enough to really show how much we appreciate all of the hard work that has been done to support, you know, all of us, and, you know, and the Vietnamese culture in the US. And so Antam have a few words to talk about how our plans for the future of how we can commemorate our community leaders. Antam?
Thank you. You know, this folk who came down to earth and to spend a wonderful time with us, and they left us with a lot to learn, a lot to follow. And for that, I think that, you know, we thought that it'd be meaningful for our community to come together to put a memorial plaque that we want to advocate it, to have it installed in the Little Saigon City Park, which is going to be built very soon. And so every year, as we planning to do, our goal is before us remember 30 tháng 4, the April 30th, we wanted to start the 25th, on the April 25th, to remember the hero, the folks who who opened the path for us to get where we at. We want to remember of their work and their contribution, their sacrifice for where we at. So we wanted to have to create that memorial plaque. And so we silently communicate with friends. And so far, first we started out with $500. We raised $500 and we found the matching. And sorry that I have to bring your name up, Bob. Bob Tong is one of the persons stepping up. None of you know about this, Bob. I know Bob for a while. That's why I'm able to like communicate with him without hesitation. But this is we felt it is important for us to remember and to recognize our heroes. And so that is our long-term plans. Every year, we going to, on April 25th, we're going to come back and remember all these folks. And we continue to add on the name, the new name, or the name that we didn't get to. We add them on, and we want to recognize young, female, or male, or whatever race, mixed race, Vietnamese race, even gender, we want to recognize them. Yeah. So their contribution to build a community, to make the community strong, vibrant, and to have a voice that we deserve to have. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Antam. And so for those who are here, if we can then ask you to when we reach out to see if you want to be a part of this, to start, fundraising, because 1,000 is a great start. And thank you so much, Dr. Bob, for contributing. But how do we raise more to really do something meaningful and to reflect the largest of these contributions? And when you're saying that to put it on April is very fitting, because oftentimes people think that, as a country, we ended on April 30th, right? But we forget that as we came to America, we added on another chapter, and these individuals added on to that chapter what it means to be Vietnamese, and we will continue to write more chapters. And so this is really this continuation of, how do we think about, what happened to us on April 30th, 1975. But then from there, how did Vietnamese American or Vietnamese in all across the world have continued to fight, have continued to survive, and have continued to thrive, and not only maintaining the Vietnamese culture, but adding our culture to the other cultures that they came in contact with, and making those cultures and communities and countries so much better. And so that's why this is a great start, but we would like to invite you to have more conversation with us after this. So with that, I would like to Anh Hoàng to close us out with our thank yous.
Thank you, Tâm Linh. I'm sorry I was a little bit emotional back then, so sorry. On behalf of the Friends of Little Saigon organization and the Vietnamese American community of Seattle and Snow King counties, I want to thank all of you for attending this event. This event was a collective effort by many of us in the community as a way to celebrate and honor our beloved community leaders. What we are hoping for the future is that we will keep this event going yearly, and like Tâm Nguyễn said, we want to do it in the month of April. Since this is our first event, I'm pretty sure that we may have missed someone who have contributed to our community but did not have their names mentioned here. And for that, we sincerely apologize. This community memorial is a non-politic, bipartisan event. And we invite all of you and your family, friends to join us next year. I also want to take this opportunity to thank members of Friends of Little Saigon and the Vietnamese American community of Seattle and Snow King counties board members, especially Quỳnh Phạm, Executive Director, Tâm Nguyễn, Valerie Tran, Dr. Tâm Dinh. I also want to thank Senator Joe Nguyen, Representative Mỹ Linh Thái, King County Council Member Dave Updegrove, Renton City Council Council Member Kim Khánh Vân. Without these people, this event won't be possible. So for that, we thank you, and hopefully we'll see you again next year.
Thank you. So that concludes the end of our program. We will stay on for another 5-10 minutes if you want to, connect with each other. But otherwise, thank you for your time today. And please stay connected and work with us when we reach out to you. Have a good Sunday.
Thank you, everybody.
So Quinn, maybe you can recording.